Welcome to the shadow screen, where darkness reveals its secrets. Tonight we embark on a chilling journey into the whispering shadows. Prepare to traverse the haunted streets of Bridgetown, a town shrouded in mystery, where secrets cling to the air like an eerie fog, and the echoes of the past weave through the night, beckoning to be uncovered. The Whispering Shadows is a short story about David Barnes, a young man in his early 20s, recently moved back to his hometown of Bridgetown after the mysterious disappearance of his childhood friend, Alex Godwin. Curious, brave, and a touch naive, he has always dismissed the town's dark legends. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the crumbling streets of Bridgetown, an unsettling aura hung in the air. The once vibrant town, now cloaked in twilight, whispered secrets long buried beneath its weathered facade. David stepped out of his car, the gravel crunching beneath his feet, a distant warning echoing in his mind. He inhaled deeply, the familiar scent of damp earth and decaying leaves stirring memories of a childhood spent exploring the woods. But tonight, nostalgia was tainted with unease. The air felt heavy as if it bore the weight of unspoken horrors. The rustling trees sounded like hushed voices, calling him back to a time he'd tried to forget. David's heart raced as he made his way down the desolate street, passing the old diner where laughter once rang. Now the windows were boarded up. Each familiar landmark loomed larger than life, shadows stretching ominously, wrapping around him like tendrils of darkness. As he approached the edge of town, the forest stood before him, its towering trees swaying in the evening breeze. The tales of the whispering shadows, spirits said to haunt these woods, echoed in his mind. A chilling reminder of Alex's fate, who had vanished near this very spot. David felt the forest was alive, watching, waiting as he stepped toward the unknown, drawn by courage and desperation. The air grew colder, and the whispers intensified as if the shadows themselves beckoned him to uncover the truth hidden in darkness. In the hushed corners of Bridgetown, where light dared not linger, the tales of the whispering shadows were woven into the fabric of the town's history. Old-timers shared stories in hushed tones, their voices trembling with fear and reverence. According to legend, the whispering shadows were lost souls, victims of their own fears trapped in the dense woods. They rose at twilight, cloaked in darkness, thriving on the terrors of the living, whispering haunting secrets and dark promises to anyone foolish enough to tread too close. They can sense your fears, locals warned, eyes wide with dread. The moment you step into the forest, they'll know your darkest thoughts and twist them until you're lost in a nightmare. David could almost hear their whispers swirling around him like a chilling breeze. Those who encountered the shadows often returned changed, eyes clouded with terror. Some claimed to hear their names called at night. Others spoke of fleeting figures darting between the trees, always just out of reach. Standing at the forest precipice, the trees loomed like ancient sentinels, gnarled branches reaching out as if to ensnare anyone who dared enter. An unnatural stillness enveloped the air, broken only by the distant rustle of leaves, a sound that felt like a warning. Yet despite the fear seeping into his bones, David felt an insatiable pull, a desire to confront the darkness that had claimed his friend, to uncover the truth among the whispering shadows. The weight of Alex's absence pressed down on him like a stone. Weeks had passed since his friend vanished, the last sighting forever etched in David's mind. Alex laughing, carefree as they ventured toward the trees that now beckoned ominously. The laughter had faded, replaced by silence, leaving a nagging emptiness in its wake. Determination ignited a fire within him, pushing aside the creeping dread. He could no longer ignore the unknown's pull. Alex had been brave, perhaps too brave, and David felt he owed it to his friend to uncover the truth, no matter how dark it might be. With each step toward the forest, memories flooded back. A shared childhood of adventures and secrets whispered under starlit skies. They had promised to always have each other's backs, never letting fear dictate their choices. Now that promise felt like a lifeline pulling him deeper into the shadows, urging him to confront the very fears that had claimed Alex. The townspeople's warnings echoed in his mind, but they only fueled his resolve. He had to know what happened, to face the demons that took his friend away. The fear that once gripped him transformed into fierce determination, a burning need to unravel the mystery surrounding the whispering shadows. As he took a deep breath, stealing against the chill that seeped into his bones, David felt a surge of courage. He was ready to step into the darkness and confront whatever lay ahead, driven by the hope that he could bring Alex back, or at least find peace in the truth. The forest loomed before him, a maze of shadows and secrets, but he would not shy away. He would plunge into the depths of the unknown, determined to reclaim what had been lost. "I have to find out what happened," he whispered, stepping forward. With each deeper step into the woods, the atmosphere shifted. Silence became unnerving, broken only by distant rustling and faint whispers, as if the trees themselves murmured secrets of those who had ventured before him. After what felt like hours of wandering, David stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin, its walls draped in creeping vines and dark stains. As he approached, a chill ran down his spine. It pulsed with unsettling energy as if it were a living entity. Inside, the air was stale and heavy with decay. Scattered across the floor were remnants of rituals, broken candles, strange symbols drawn in dust, and remnants of offerings long forgotten. David stumbled upon an old leather-bound diary tucked away in a forgotten corner. Opening it unleashed a flood of memories. His friend's handwriting, frantic and erratic. "The whispers are getting louder," one entry read. "I can't sleep. They call to me at night. I feel them watching." David's heart raced as he turned the pages, revealing more about Alex's descent into fear, hinting at the darkness that had begun to consume him. David's pulse quickened as he realized he had uncovered something sinister, a connection to the darkness that had claimed his friend. David leaves the abandoned cabin and ventures deep into the forest again. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. The shadows around him thickened and twisted. From the depths of darkness emerged the whispering shadow, a swirling mass of inky blackness that seemed to absorb all light. Glowing eyes materialized within the void, piercing through the darkness like twin stars. "You shouldn't have come here, David," it hissed, a haunting chorus of whispers echoing his deepest fears. "You're guilty. You left him behind." The shadows slithered closer, wrapping around him like a suffocating shroud, each whisper unearthing buried guilt. David's breath quickened as the entity drew near, its whispers growing louder, more insistent. "It's your fault," the voices taunted, twisting memories into a grotesque display of regret. Panic surged, but he knew he must confront these fears head-on. "No, I won't let you control me," he shouted, clenching his fists, battling against despair. As the whispering shadow closed in, David realized it thrived on his fears, feeding on guilt and uncertainty. "You can't escape," it bellowed, shadows writhing with menace. But deep within him, a flicker of strength ignited. "I refuse to be your victim." With every ounce of courage, he faced the swirling darkness. "I loved him. I will not let my fear win." The shadows faltered, revealing glimpses of lost souls trapped within. David understood that the only way to escape was to confront these fears directly. "I'm not afraid of you," he declared, his voice ringing clear in the oppressive darkness. "I will face my guilt, my past, and I will find Alex." With each word, he felt the shadows shrink back, their power waning as he embraced memories instead of running from them. The struggle became a fierce battle of wills, light against dark, as David fought to reclaim his friend and his own heart. The whispering shadow howled in fury, but David stood resolute, ready to break free from the chains of fear that had bound him for too long. "I remember you, Alex," David shouted, his voice rising above the cacophony of whispers. "I remember our friendship, the light we shared. You are not lost to me." With each affirmation, the swirling mass of shadows around him began to tremble, the glowing eyes of the whispering shadow flickering with uncertainty. David focused on the bond they had forged, the love that transcended fear. "You're not just a shadow," he cried out, tears streaming down his face. "You are my friend, and I will not let you go." As he embraced this truth, a brilliant light erupted from within him. The shadows recoiled, shrieking in pain as the light spread, pushing back the darkness that had suffocated him for so long. David felt the weight of guilt and fear lift from his shoulders, replaced by a fierce determination. "Together, we can break this curse," he called, reaching out toward the shadowy form that flickered before him. "I will not abandon you." At that moment, the whispering shadow hesitated, its form wavering. David stepped forward, extending his hand. "Come back to me, Alex. We can face this together." The light grew brighter, enveloping the entity, and for the first time, David saw a glimpse of his friend's true self within the darkness. A flicker of hope, a spark of recognition. With an anguished roar, the whispering shadow began to dissolve, the shadows unraveling like threads pulled from a tapestry. David's heart raced as the light surged, consuming the darkness entirely. The last echoes of the whispering shadow faded into silence, leaving behind a heavy stillness. As the light dimmed, the oppressive weight of fear gone. Emerging into the night, he felt the cool air wash over him, invigorating and fresh. The forest, once a labyrinth of shadows, now felt alive with possibilities. The whispers transformed into a gentle rustle of leaves. David had faced his fears and reclaimed his friend from the depths of despair. With newfound resolve, he vowed to honor the bond they shared, to keep Alex's memory alive and protect others from the darkness that lurked in the woods. As he stepped back into the world, he knew that true courage lay not in the absence of fear, but in the strength to confront it, and that love could illuminate even the darkest of paths.